Good morning. Tay is at the board right now. And Tay is cool. And he is pointing to this map. And I asked him to point to where the Atlantic Ocean is. Atlantic Ocean. So Tay, where is the Atlantic Ocean? And he's pointing to right here. And he's right. Very good. Tay, call some else. Little hot seat review. Hot seat review. What do you know? Quick, like a bunny, honey. Kane, up you go.
What's up?
All right, Kane. I want you on a blank map of the United States to point to where you could find the Great Plains.
That's the big mountain.
The Great Plains are not mountains.
Oh, yeah.
Great Plains. He's pointing to this region right here, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska. Yep, you got it. The Plains Indians lived here. And we're going to be studying. The reason we're talking about all these natural physical features and boundaries is because the early people who lived here, those set up borders for where different tribes of people lived. Okay, the Great Plains Indians lived in the plains. Good. Kane, call someone new. Quick like a bunny.
Ted. No, kidding.
Axel's coming to the board. Axel's going to find the Appalachian Mountains. The Appalachian Mountains. And he's taken the mouse and he's making my screen smaller. Oops. Axel. I don't know how you did that. That's magic. All right. And he's pointing over here on the East Coast. Not on the coast, but just a little inland from the East Coast, the Appalachian Mountains. He's correct. Good. Okay. Let's do two more. Quick review. Axel, call someone new. The class is ready for this map test coming up soon. All right, Haley. Where on this map of the United States that is blank right now, where could you find the Ohio River? Okay, she found Ohio and she's tracing the southern border of Ohio and dumps eventually in Mississippi, and she's correct. Well done. Calling someone new. Let's do one more. Kimberly's coming up. Kimberly, coming to the board. All right, Kimberly, you are going to have to know oceans and mountains and rivers. Let's have you point out, where would you find the Mississippi River? Mississippi. It starts in Minnesota. And then look at that wiggly line that goes from Iowa, Missouri, all the way down, and it dumps into the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, so folks, here's the things that will be on the test. I'm going to give this to you today. Eyes up on the board, please. And you can visualize on a map. If I asked you to find the Rocky Mountains, thumbs up, sideways, or down. Thumbs up, I got it, Mrs. Stew, I could find it. Thumbs sideways, I'm not sure. Thumbs down, I'm lost. Could you find the Rocky Mountains?
Yes.
Just thumbs, no voices. Appalachian Mountains. Can you find the Mississippi River? Can you find the Ohio River? We just reviewed those two. Ohio River is named after the state it starts in. Ohio, okay? It becomes a full raging river in Ohio and dumps into Mississippi River. Can you find the Missouri River?
Yes. Maybe.
Can you find the Pacific Ocean?
Maybe.
Can you find the Atlantic Ocean?
Yes.
Can you find the Gulf of Mexico? Can you name all the lakes?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to get this list from me in a little bit, and tomorrow we'll have a practice test. So I'll have you pair up with a partner and take and do a review with a practice test. The real test is on Friday, and I will not be here on Friday, so your sub, Mr. Goodspeed, will be giving you the test. All right, so questions on physical features. Going once? Going twice? All right, then yesterday we were working on this map, and we didn't get quite this far, did we?
No.
And I think that I maybe must have finished this with the other class, because I don't know what happened to your map. All right, so so far, did we do the west?
Yes.
Okay, we already did the west. What did we call the yellow? Midwest, and we said Midwest is best, and we say that just because we live here in Minnesota. All right, Texas is not Midwest. All right, now the South I colored green. So South is below the Midwest on the map, and it goes all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. So you should be coloring now then, Chase. Here, well, this is my blank one. There are extra ones over in the wire basket that says extra social study stuff. Riley can show you where to go. Okay, so the southern states include Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana. Should I make that a little darker green?
Yeah.
Let's see if I have it.
Yellow.
It does. Does anyone have a darker green colored pencils I can borrow? Can I borrow one? Mine is so light. I'll make it darker. Oh, there we go. This is definitely darker green. Okay, so I'll make this South a darker green so that they definitely look different. All right. Now, I will also say that this map is just one variation of regions. There are many different ways to split up the United States into regions. We are splitting up the states into regions because we will be talking about a time long, 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 long ago, before all of these state boundaries existed. And we're going to be talking about early tribes of people who lived in the United States before there were states. Long, 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 long time ago. So all of these state boundaries did not exist. But the physical features from the last map, did those exist?
Yes.
Yeah. Those mountains, the rivers, they have been there for a long, 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 long time. Before there were states, the rivers and the mountains existed. And the early tribes of people who lived here, they survived and they made their livelihood using the resources in the places they lived. So we're going to use these regions to talk about what kinds of resources people had where they lived. And we could even start brainstorming a little bit. If you were a tribe of early people and you lived in the West, in the Rocky Mountains, and some of you maybe even have been to the Rocky Mountains, what kinds of things might you use as resources to eat or make things with in the Rocky Mountains or West? What do you think, Travis? There's goats. Absolutely. If you go through Wyoming, you're going to see herds of antelope. And you're going to see mountain goats in the mountains. You're also going to run into cougars. Yep. A long, long, long time ago, there were other animals that lived up here too. If you're in the Southwest, over here, we've talked about this being the Four Corners in Arizona, New Mexico. If you were living down here in the desert, you maybe made your home out of sand, a sand mix they call pueblo. You maybe built your home into cliffs and were a cliff dweller and live in the desert.
It's Kansas. Because the line doesn't go.
Okay, we've got Nebraska, then Kansas. And I think Kansas would probably be Midwest.
Oh, you forgot to color the rest of it.
And
that's like a
yeah, Kansas is kind of right on the border, but you know what? I think I would make Kansas. I know it's light green, but I think Kansas is a little bit more Midwest, you guys. From what I know about Kansas and the family that I have that live in Kansas, I think they would consider themselves more Midwestern than Southern, just based on what the resources they have. If you live in the East Coast over here, Northeast, Maine, Vermont, they're by the ocean. What kind of resources would the people who live up here by the ocean, what would they maybe use, Axel? Fish, whales, yeah. In the Appalachian Mountains, right where my yellow pencil is, in this region, there's a lot of forests. The people who lived here, if it's a forest, would they live in sand homes like the people in the desert? No. They wouldn't live in the pueblo houses or huts. They wouldn't build their homes into cliffs. But what would they make their homes of?
Tracy Totland to room 205. Tracy Totland
What do you think, Ryder?
Cookies and logs.
They definitely use logs. Yep, teepees, we're going to find out teepees are made to travel. And there were tribes of people who traveled a lot because what were they hunting, do you think? Buffalo or bison, yep. And they would follow buffalo. So there are tribes. Some of you might already know a little bit about some of these tribes. And so hopefully by Monday of next week, I'm going to assign you a tribe to research. And we're going to talk about these regions. There's also going to be a few tribes in Mexico and some tribes way up in the Arctic Circle where it's pretty cold. What kind of house might you make where it's really cold? If you use your imagination. Some of you pretend to make these in your yards sometimes at certain times of year. If it's really cold all year long, in the wintertime it's super, super, super cold. So you might make your home out of what, Mariah? Snow or ice. What do you call those kinds of homes? Yeah, so you might have the tribe that lived in igloos, and you can talk to us about it. Okay, regions map. Are we feeling good about the regions?
Yep.
All right, yes. Axel?
A teepee is kind of like a tent.
A teepee is sort of like a tent, yeah.
Like it is sticks and then...
It's a big tent. You could fit a family, a large family in a teepee, and you could also build a fire inside a teepee. I would not recommend having a fire in your tent. So teepees are a little different than a tent, right? But if you have slept in a tent, you can imagine what it might be like to sleep in a teepee, perhaps. Yeah. Macy?
One time,
Oh, right. Macy raised her hand, but I can't hear her because there's too much extra noise.
one time it was like in the middle of winter, and me and my sister built a huge teepee.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, we kind of like have like big like area of like trees in our backyard. So I like went in there and I found all the loose trees and I just like took them out. And they're like really big trees.
Uh-huh.
And we circled them around and at my birthday party, well, a lot of people came and we played in the teepee. So it was a huge
That's fun.
teepee.
That's fun. That's fun. So I have showed this before. Actually, I showed, we'll see. Let's do this one. I'm going to take over the video from my other computer. Now we have this map. All right, so I'm going to leave this viewing.
Who do you send the videos to?
I post them for students.